Hello, I'm Nancy Smith Mattox on Shine Your Light Radio Ministry on WYTV 7 in Charlotte, broadcasting my show from Little Rock, Arkansas. And I'm so excited today. We have a guest for a second time. He's given us a lot of times and a lot of tips. He is a security professional for over 25 years. I'm so happy to have him back, Mr. Dan Starks. He is our main man for tips for security, and we're going to talk a little bit today about some different security tips that he's going to share with us. So how you doing, Mr. Dan?
I am happy to be here, and I want to start out saying, from the criminal's perspective, you are less likely to become a victim if you think about your security every day. Most people don't think it's ever going to happen to them. But the fact of the matter is, you're busier during the Christmas time. Well, understand the criminals are equally as busy. What I'm going to do tonight is give you some tips to keep you a hard target at home and while you're shopping and traveling. So I guess we'll start about home safety first. Home safety is pretty simple. What I tell people is walk around your house during the day and at night, looking in the windows, and keep valuables out of sight of any of the windows. Especially Christmas trees and Christmas presents. You want to make sure that people can't see them. Also, if you're home, never open your door unless you know who the person is there. But I want to jump back. A lot of people are taking Ubers right now. So before we go home, let's talk a little bit about Uber safety. Okay? Before getting into the car, ask the driver, "What's my name?" They should know your name. They should know your destination. And they should have an approximate length of time. Take a photograph of the license plate, put that information in it, and text it to a family member. That way they'll know where you are and when you're going. And when you're traveling, carry small bills so you can use them for tips, for tips and things. And carry something for protection. I have carried an OC pepper phone. This is a product that my family has used for 30 years. And all that time, it has never failed. Probably 70% of the people who've used it stop an attack from a rabid animal. But I mean, people have to have something to protect themselves nowadays. And if you feel at all uncomfortable on your journey, ask the driver to stop at like a McDonald's or a gas station. Get out and call the police. That's the safe thing to do. What are your thoughts?
Well, I am an Uber driver, Uber Lyft driver, and I've done that in the past, and you're absolutely right. From the driver's perspective, you don't know who's getting in your car. So the same thing with an Uber driver, these tips pertain to them too, because you're letting a total stranger in your car, and you always have to call them by their first name and make sure they're the right person to be in the car. There's been lots of horror stories of people getting in an Uber that weren't the real people, and they've harmed the driver. So we want to be careful with that too. But I'd like to elaborate a little bit more if I'm taking an Uber Lyft. I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more on some more tips that we can do. But talking about their name and a picture of their tag, that's fabulous, because that's exactly what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make sure they have the right car. They're in the right car because they get a picture of it when they order their Uber or Lyft, and they get a picture of their driver so they know who it is. So elaborate a little bit more on Uber and some more safety issues on that, sir.
Well, I think, if you're going to take an Uber, you should let your family know that you're going to take an Uber. Know approximate time that you're going to leave, and approximate time you should get to your destination. And I think it helps while you're in the vehicle to be on the phone with somebody that you can confide in. If you get any feelings of uncomfortability, you're not comfortable anyways, they'll let them know so that, you've got backup and immediate access to the police department. We trust people. It's the 21st century, and we have to be a little bit leery of what's going on with all that's going on around us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You got to always pay attention to your surroundings, and we were raised in our day not to talk to strangers, and now we're getting in strangers' cars and we're driving strangers around. So it's a little scary what's going on out there, and people do get desperate.
Well, they do, and we've gotten comfortable. All of a sudden the term Uber supplemented the term taxi driver. Now we think it's an Uber. It's a little or snooty, a little highfalutin. Again, you're getting in a stranger's car that you trust to take you someplace, and that's a very precarious thing. With it doesn't take much to drive around and pretend you're an Uber. So I think you, as a passenger, really need to step up the level of protection and start right from the beginning. Who are you? What's my name? And then get the destination. And if you're in a local area, kind of map out the route you plan to take, so that you'll know if you're in unfamiliar territory. But then get all that information and be on the phone with a family member. And allow them to know, yes, I'm getting in. Let them know you are where you're at. And I think that just it adds a level of comfort to both the driver and the passenger.
Yes, sir. That's an excellent idea. As I drive people, I do notice that they get on the phone in the back seat. They get on the phone with a friend and they just chat it up. And they're always saying, yes, I'm in an Uber. I'm in my Uber ride and I'm going here. So I think that people are getting the hang of those safety tips and know that is what they should do. I always try to carry on a conversation with them, but immediately if they want to get on the phone. And now I understand even more why they want to be on a phone with their friends so they know where they're going and that kind of thing. That's excellent. Yes, sir.
Female Uber drivers, you need to take a little extra caution. I hope you carry something to protect yourself with. I mean, it's critical.
No, not exactly. I don't really carry anything. I don't really carry anything with me because I'm not that. I haven't been trained to have a gun and that kind of thing. But a lot of Uber drivers are. They have carry permits and they're carrying things for protection. But they do say that we should have a camera in our car pointing to the back seat, so the camera will kind of keep track of who gets in the car and that kind of thing. But I've been driving for like 2 years now with them, and I really haven't had that many issues. So,
okay, well, we have carried this pepper foam. I have trusted my family's life and my friend's family's life with this for about 30 years. It is a non-lethal product, and the idea behind it is you spray somebody in the face with it, and when you do, you take away their vision and you take away their ability to breathe. And my idea is if you can't get away from somebody who can't see or breathe, shame on you.
now, do you have a place that you suggest that we purchase those, or do you provide that service, Dan?
Yes, I do. And people can reach me at my website, which is www.danstarks.com, or they can call me at 704-392-SAFE, SAFE being 7233, 704-392-7233. Nancy, I believe in this product so much that it's the only product my family, my daughter, my sister, Connie, and Carrie, I believe in it so much. If people use it, I replace it for free. And I do it.
Thank you for that.
I do that so the next time they leave their house, they know they've got enough product in the can. Because when you spray it, you don't know if you got a half a can left or a whole can left. So that's why I do that. I've been doing that ever since 1994.
Wow. Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, because we go on the internet and we might not buy the wrong thing. We might buy something that's less potent, or we might buy something that just is not a good product, and we're dependent on it for our protection. So thank you for sharing that with us, how we can get that. So let's change gears a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about home party safety tips. And on this one, I want to know what we can do to secure our home if we're having a holiday party in a holiday season. Because during that time, a lot of people are in and out of our homes. So we want to be sure we protect our stuff.
First of all, I think you should have a list of the people you've invited to their home. And when somebody comes in, have a sign-in sheet. And if they have a guest with them, make sure the guest signs it. Have a family member tend to secure their purse, their coats, and you've got to make sure that you keep your personal information, your financial information locked up and secure, your medical information, including prescriptions, because you don't want somebody going in and stealing any of your pills. You have to treat everybody like a stranger. Understand you may have known them for weeks or months or years, but you may not have known their friends. And I don't think that anybody would be offended if said, when you're ready to leave, let me know. I'll get your purse and your coat for you. You have to keep people wandering all over your house as strangers. And again, during the holidays, we've got a lot of gifts being delivered. You never want to open your door if you do not know the person on the outside. And a lot of people at this time of year are going out and buying fake uniforms, UPS uniforms or whatever. That's why I suggest in my home, we have a can of pepper foam mounted right by the door. That way, if you need it, you can use it. The advantage to the pepper foam is it's not lethal. You don't need a permit for it. You can virtually carry it almost anywhere, except for airports and law enforcement. And of course, those are not going to be your problem. It is a tremendous propellant. It is a simple to use. I looked at it when my daughter was getting ready to go to college. I wanted something that was legal, immediate, and effective. And to be honest with you, probably 90% of the aerosol products out there are just junk. They're sold, some of these houses are wonderful. But I trust my family's life.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because I know you can buy anything. You can search the internet and buy anything on the internet, but it's not always, it may not be the quality, and it's going to give you some false security. So, but with back to the home, I know right now, and we don't have very many people that come to our home. We go to other people's places, but right now I know my husband's wallet is on the kitchen counter behind the little bowl with all his information in it. And that kind of thing, we've got to remember to put our purses up, put our wallets up, and our personal information that's on paper. I mean, you want to be sure you don't have any of your invoices or your billings laying around, because they can do a lot of things with, like, an electric bill. They can turn on electric at other places with an electric bill. So we got to be careful with leaving that kind of paperwork out too, because we don't really know. we know people, but we don't really know them.
Well, that's right. I mean, when you're at holiday time, people are out buying lots of gifts, okay, which is wonderful. The problem is people take the boxes and put them down by the curb. Criminals drive through the neighborhood and say, "Ooh, that house has got all sorts of goodies." So if you've got a factory box that identifies a specific product, destroy it. Put it in a bag, or make sure you shred it. Because if you're putting it down to the curb, it's an open invitation to criminals. Hey, come on in and get my new laptop, whatever. What the whole trick to staying safe is look at your life through the eyes of a criminal and say, what are my weaknesses? And that's one of them. And we talk about shopping. Shopping is, everybody goes shopping. The problem with shopping right now, Nancy, you're at a counter, okay? You write a check. The girl says, "What's your phone number?" And you go, blah, 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 blah. Everybody with hearing range has access to that phone number. Now, with your phone number and their smartphone, they know where you live. And if you're shopping, they can get to your house before you do. So when you're out in public and you have to give somebody a phone number, never give them a phone number that leads directly to your house. Same thing as with a GPS in your car. Have it lead to a place in your neighborhood and not directly to your home.
I guess they can take your phone number and track it back to who you are and where you live, right?
Oh, not only where you live, if you really know how to use it, you can tell where a person went to school. You can get their whole history of it. So electronic technology has made us extremely vulnerable and dangerous. And the internet is, I believe, is probably the most dangerous highway people travel on every day, and they are clueless as far as giving out information. Connie and I did a seminar for a company, and I got talking to the woman. She gave me her phone number. A couple of minutes later, I said to her, "You didn't tell me you played lacrosse in college and that you were in a leading place." She goes, "How did you know that?" I said, "You told me." She was dumbfounded. So you have to protect that just like you protect the information in your wallet. And again, as we become more technologically adept, we become more vulnerable. Criminals are staying way ahead of us. Like when I tell people you go shopping, okay, you see a woman come out of a store, she's got shopping bag. She opens the trunk, puts her bags in the car, goes back into the store. Don't do that. Move your car to another location. There are people watching you. And if they see you putting bags in your car, you're going to go back and shopping. They know right where to go to steal your stuff. So if you're going to put it in your car and you're not going to go home, it may be inconvenient to move to another part in the parking lot, but it's a lot less inconvenient coming out and finding your stuff gone.
Wow, I know I'm guilty of that. I've been shopping before and run out to the car to put bags in the trunk and then go back in. But really, what you're saying is we need to move our car, get in our car with our packages, move it around, and then because we don't realize how much people are watching us. We're not tuned in when we come out of a store, when we go in a store to see what people are doing. We just don't pay attention. So we got to pay more attention to that.
And I go one step further. I tell people if you have electronic locks on your door, when you're in a public place, don't use them. Use your lock your door manually. Because if you use your remote and somebody is in the neighborhood with a scanner, they can download your code to get in your car and break into your car without setting off alarm. Also, we do not have to have a registration in our car. We have to have a registration on our body. Somebody breaks into your car, your registration's there. It tells them where you live. And if they steal your car, you're gonna, by the time you come out of the mall, all the police get home, your house is gonna be empty. And also, if you have a garage door opener, do not put it over the dashboard. That's giving people easy access. Put it in the door of your pocket, maybe put it in the ashtray or put it in the console. Because people are not going to be able to find that in a frightening time. They pull into your house, they can't get into your driveway, they can't get into your garage. If your door opener is right above the visor, you've said, "Come on in." And you know what? Most people don't lock the garage door leading from the garage into the kitchen. Shame.
Wow. Oh, my word. Well, I want to do a station break real quick here. I want to do a station break for WYTV7. We have at WYTV7.org, we have things on our webpage. We have the holiday tip list. We have the security tip list. We have all kinds of tips that Dan has shared with us. We want you to be able to go on the webpage, WYTV7, and download this stuff, download security quizzes and things like that. That is a community service that WYTV7 does for the community. We want everyone to be safe, and we do not want you to be a victim during these holidays. And so I want to just give a really big shout out for WYTV7 and everything that they do for the community. So please pay attention to this and pass this video along to your friends and make sure that they listen to it, because there's so many tips. I know we had you on a few weeks ago, Dan, and you were talking a little bit about how we shouldn't drive directly home. Tell us what that was about.
Well, again, if you drive directly home, then people are going to follow you. They're going to know where you are. You want to take kind of make a couple of different turns and look in your rearview mirror. And if you see the same car following you, you have a problem. Do not go home. Go to a gas station, go to a public building, go to the police station. But you see, the problem is, Nancy, most people don't think it's ever going to happen. So when it does, they don't respond appropriately and they freeze. And that gives criminals access to them. I tell people also, when you're going to go out with your family, you've got kids, high school kids and things, take a picture of each of your family members on your cell phone. That way, if something happens at a mall, you don't have to tell the police, oh, I think she was wearing a high school sweatshirt. No, this is my daughter. This is my son. And the faster we can give that information to the local police, the greater the success of getting these people back are. And it doesn't take a difficult, it's not expensive. It's not, cell phone technology. It's simple. You carry it with you. Also, if you're in a mall or in a place like that and you hear gunshots and you realize that there's a problem, do not run for the door. Everybody and their brother is going to run for the door. The good chances are you're going to get trampled and crushed. Instead, head into one of the retail stores because most retail stores have a receiving department on the outside, and that way there's not going to be a crowd pushing you to get out the door. And make sure that your family knows that. And when you go someplace with your family, before you leave, have a set destination that you're going to meet at if something goes bad in a set time. Because if they, with the crazy people, look what happened in California the other day. I mean, the school. There's crazy people out there. As you and I sit here tonight taping this show, there's some wacko out there already, trying to determine when's his time to break into a mall and raise heck. So again, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Your ability to survive has a lot to do with your planning before the noise.
Yes, sir. Well, before we go on to the next topic, I just want to say that WYTV7 is part of Jumpstart Charlotte Crime Prevention and Safety Project, and you can take a look at that at # Jumpstart CLT, and take a look at that. I'm so pleased that our radio station is so involved with the community and does so much to help. So please remember that it's Jumpstart Charlotte Crime Prevention and Safety Project. And I'm sure you're involved with that too, Dan, since you live in Charlotte. But let's move on to our last topic. We're about to run out of time. It goes by so fast. I just appreciate you so much, Dan. Let's talk a little bit about if we travel out of town and overnight tips of what we should do for traveling.
I think that's important. First of all, understand, when I go from North Carolina into South Carolina, my license plate says to all the criminals, easy target. I probably has stuff, doesn't know where he's going, probably easy gets lost. And if they break into my car, it's going to cost me too much money to keep going back there to court. So I'll probably drop the charges. So you need to be extremely aware of your surroundings. And you need to choose a hotel that's not directly off the interstate, okay? And when you choose a hotel, when you book a room, you want to book something above the third floor, because most burglaries in hotels take place on the first and second floor. You also want to park your car so that you can see it from the window of your room. And again, it may be a nuisance at 9 o'clock at night to bring all the packages and put them in your room. A lot less of a nuisance than going down in the morning to find them stolen. A little ounce of prevention can save a lot of problems. But understand, when you go into another state, your license plate sets you off as a target. So that's why it's the thing I go back to this, the pepper phone. I like this because you can carry this in any state in the United States. You don't need a permit for it. And the advantage to it is you spray somebody with it and they become disoriented, can't see, can't breathe temporarily. And you're using it as an exit strategy.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Now, I want you to share a little bit with us more, Dan. You are the safety expert, and you're the security expert. I want you to share a little bit about your Emmy Award-winning show that you had, as well as talk a little bit about some of your experience that you had.
Well, I was blessed. When I started the business in 1988, I could not get a media outlet in North Carolina to take an ad from me. And 10 years later, I had NBC, ABC, and CBS all of a sudden, hey, we're missing the mark. So I went with NBC because they gave me my own series called Don't Be a Victim. It was a weekly self-defense show. It was teaching people how to avoid. And I had my own dedicated photographer and writer. And that show aired for 11 years. We were nominated every year for an Emmy. I actually had the joy of bringing one home one year. And that was a thrill beyond anything I could have ever expected. Understand, when I started there, I had no experience in television broadcasting whatsoever. I was just a bald guy with a passion and didn't want people to become a victim. Matter of fact, that's why when I chose the name Don't Be a Victim, I did that because when I was a kid, I was mugged and assaulted, and I realized how awful it was. So I wanted the people to say, don't be a victim. I wanted that to stick in their mind, and it has. And then I also did a newspaper article for the Charlotte Observer. We did a weekly self-defense safety awareness article. We did that for years. And I also did a radio show on WBT 1110 AM, largest AM station in the country.
Thank you so much for that. We're going to put your webpage and your phone number up on the show as it's being broadcast, because I want people to be able to get a hold of you. You do all kind of training at the Stark. What's it called? The Stark Training Institute or whatever.
Stark Training.
Yes.
Yeah, my website stanstark.com. I figured.
Yeah.
And we travel all over the country and do seminars for companies. I'm the #1 real estate self-defense guru in North and South Carolina. I do campus safety for kids going to college. I do realtor safety. I actually did a course for mothers with multiples who had 2 and 3 new babies. We do mall walkers. I mean, if there's a group of people out there who want to learn to protect themselves, I am the go-to guy. And it's a fun, invigorating experience. We never try to frighten people. We try to educate people in a fun situation.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We're almost out of time. I so appreciate you, Dan, for coming back on Shine Your Light Radio Ministry again on WYTV 7. I appreciate you so much. You've shared with me 2 times now on 2 different shows. Well, really 3 times. One was last year. But I just appreciate you so much for wanting to help people. And I'd like to end the show with you doing your saying on what you say at the end of your show. So would you mind doing that?
I would never mind doing that. And Nancy, I have to commend you and your organization. You step up to the community and you give back more than you ever take. And for that, I give you credit. And as I always said to my photographer, remember, it's your choice. Don't be a victim. I'm Dan Stark. Please call me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.